We got a whole bunch of food going on here, but we also got some rabid Panthers fans. What have you been doing to keep yourself warm outside of the beanie and the scarf?
We layered up. You
layered up?
You gotta layer up.
Okay.
You got a couple of beverages that you want to take, but you just gotta keep it moving. Hot chocolate, some coffee, a latte. You know what I mean?
Have you tried the Irish cream?
I did. I didn't get the cream, but I did get a cappuccino from my man right here.
Yeah.
It's really good stuff.
This has been a blast. I ran into some fans. This is great. You know what I'm saying? This has been a phenomenal event so far. Phenomenal event so far. But I will say this, man. I could probably live here, bro. I just gotta learn German. I could probably live here.
Let's go! 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 Hey! Touch it, hey! You suck! You suck! Touching you! We can rely. Oh, oh, oh. Good times never feel so good. So good, so good, so good. Oh! Let's go. Oh, oh, oh. Let's go. Keep. All day. Keep. All day. Keep. Let's go.
Panther Nation Podcast. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah. Oh, cut it. Cut right. And I would like to introduce one of the hottest podcasts in Carolina history. Let's go. Oh, oh, oh. Yeah. Talk less chat. We got time to chop it up. Talking analytics and fantasy draft. You know what's up. Panther Nation representing, cause this is where we talk that. Talk that's so incredible, make them rewind that talk back. Pause. Talking Panthers football, we discussing it all. On and off the field, you know exactly who to call. You know we the #1 podcast. Competition is non-existent, you need to stop that. Pause. It's an honor to be a Panther fan. Pause. At Bank of America, that is where we ball. Coming to the jungle, then you gonna feel the pause. Winning the trophy for the city, it is the call. Black, white, and blue, we going Carolina strong. And this is the conversation where everyone belongs. Discussing all the numbers and topics, you know we got it. We the hottest podcast and we poppin', let's go.
QueenCityPodcastNetwork.com.
Yo, what's cracking, Panther Nation? It's your boy Rashad and it's Dave, and we back in the States. Back home.
Man, bruh. How was your flight, man?
Flight was dope, long, just long, bro. 9 hours, 9-hour flight, something like that.
9 hours on the way back, bro. It was not.
Oh, yeah,
I'm gonna tell you the story about my flight. You remember when I checked into the flight During the game. It was probably during the game. No, it was after the game when I checked into the flight. I checked into the flight after the game, and I was furious.
It was at the bar, right?
And I was furious about getting a middle seat. I had a middle seat.
Yeah,
you're like, you got to pay, you balling. I said, absolutely not. I'm not paying the extra for the middle seat to get a better seat, right? So when I showed up the next day, I went to the flight attendant and was like, hey, you got any other seats that aren't in the middle? I'll take anything. It was an aisle or a window, and they had one aisle left. So they gave me the last aisle seat. All right. Wow. So I was straight. Fast forward to when we boarded. My guy that was sitting in the middle seat next to me was like, did you have row 27 or row 28? I said, I had row 27. I'm in the right seat. He was like, yeah, the flight attendant told me there was nobody sitting here. I'm like, oh, well, I grabbed this seat at the 11th hour. I'm sorry, dog. I can't. I needed it. I had to get an aisle seat. You see how big I am. And he's a big dude, too. So I'm like, I don't know why the hell you didn't get an aisle seat. I don't know what you were doing. But whatever. But it was a good flight. My man got a little sensitive because, it's a 9-hour flight. I get it. But, it is what it is.
That flight is no joke. And then the German security is crazy. I had to go through like 5 different checks. When you go through that Munich airport, it's kind of crazy. But man, salute. It was good times, man. Good times. A lot to talk about just trip wise. We tried to, give you the updates while we were there, but we didn't do it really no justice to be honest with you. We could literally do this whole pod talking about just the trip alone and like all the things that were done there, all the good people that we ran into, man, just all the interactions that we had. But let me just say this before we get started, man, because I think shout out to my man Chad Morales, I believe his name, on X, and and man, as soon as we posted all the photos, and I posted photos of my family on X and posted pictures with Smitty and all that, and he was like, man, Shad, just take a step back and realize how blessed, you know what I mean, and how, like, where you are, the pie, where we come from, where we've gone, how far we've gone, and where the situation we're in, bro. And I just first, before we even get started, man, I just want to thank y'all for real, all the listeners, all the Patreon members, all the super chats, man, everything, every single every view, every like, man, we appreciate it because that's what puts us in the positions where we're able to do what we do, man. We just having fun. We just 2 fans with mics at the end of the day, man. We are nobody special, but y'all treated us like, man, we was like rock stars out there, Dave. Like everybody,
it was kind of wild, bro.
It was crazy. It was crazy, man. Like I got more recognition over in Germany than I ever got in the States, bro. Like it was crazy. Everybody that was there was Rabbit fans. They were diehards, so they knew what was up. They knew what we was about. They wanted to take pictures. It was just a dope experience. Shout out to my wife too. I had my wife and my family there. Shout out to Dunk too, because I met his wife. And I told him, I was like, yo, but just, be grateful for the wife that you got. You know what I mean? Because she's allowing you to create this content. And I say the same thing to my wife. I say, look, man, I appreciate you. She was the one taking half the pictures with me and other folks. And like, it's just, man, I'm just grateful, yo, for real. I can't put it into words, but I'm grateful for everybody, man, for real. Like it's super dope. Just the experience is crazy to be over in Munich, watching your squad get the dub. A+++ experience. And if you ever get a chance to go international, do it.
I completely agree. I completely agree. It was a blast. I got to sightsee a little bit, but let me tell you something, bro. They had them like, I ain't bring my family with me. Know what I'm saying? But I had a blast, bottom line. And a big thing they had a lot of events going on for the fans, not just for Panthers and Giants fans, but they also had bars for other teams that was there, which was pretty dope. We only went to the Panthers bar because I can't be out here going behind enemy lines in a different country. So, but now the bar they had us for the Panthers, Tepper showed up the first day, which was wild. That's how I got the picture. He gave me a nice stern hit on my shoulder, so maybe he didn't know who I was. You know what I'm saying?
I think he know who you were, Dave.
He took a picture with me, but it was cool. And he was out here giving out beers. It was kind of wild that Friday. And then Saturday it was wilder, which you couldn't imagine how crazy he got in that bar.
Yeah, Saturday in that bar was nuts because everybody was trying to get one of these joints right here. Salute to the Panthers. Salute to, what's it called, Dave? What's the bar called? We can't ever get the name. We can't ever get the name right.
I'm not doing this with you.
You can't get the name right, bro. But
It's
everybody
like Augustus Stemmes.
Everybody wanted their hands on one of these
Augustina
joints right here.
Stammerhaus. Augustina Stammerhaus. The bottom line is they were giving those steins out, and they ran out both days.
Facts. Yeah, they were giving these out. Everybody wanted one. So once they found out that, because I tried to get one the first day in the evening, and they were all sold out. So everybody knows at 12 o'clock, bro, they open up the tap, and everybody wants to get their hands on one. So, and unfortunately, I tried to get one for everybody, but they were like a hot commodity, and you didn't pay any extra. Like, you paid for the beer, and you got to take this with you. So this was not any extra. So it was dope, man. It was good stuff. But yeah, so also, man, salute. I gotta say, man, salute to Tepper. Because we are really tough on Tepper, and we're really tough on the organization as a whole. But man, salute to everybody, man. It was a great experience. What he's doing with the Panther Legends and having those guys were working hard. Like Luke, Smitty, Pep, TD, those guys were legit working. They were working, right? They were putting in a lot of work. They were at the bar, at the Stomp House, at the Fan Fest. They were all over the place. And I didn't see any Giants legends walking around like that. I mean, Phil Simms, shout out to Phil Simms, Roger Goodell.
Who was it? Was it Phil?
Shout out to Phil Simms, bro.
Who was it again?
It was Phil Simms. Bro.
All right. So you guys don't know. So let's tell the story. So we saw this guy, and Shad thought it was Roger Goodell. He was like, "Ain't that Roger Goodell?"
I swore.
He was like, "Ain't that Roger Goodell?" And my dumb ass, "Nah, man, that's Boomer Esiason." I was like, wait, no, it's not. It's Phil Simms. It was Phil Simms. They all looked alike.
But they all looked alike, bro. I say all that to say we didn't see any Giants legends walking around. So salute to Tep for having these guys, bro. I ran into Smitty in the Lego store, bro. Like it was just these guys were just walking around like it was nothing. There was no, security. They were just chilling, just like we were. They were just, regular guys, man. And so it was dope. Like I said, if you ever want to just go, man, go. If you can go, bro. Like if you can get out there, please. It's like a once in a lifetime experience. And I don't know when the next time we're gonna play internationally. I believe the time we did before that was 2019 in London, I believe, or something like that.
Yeah, we played in London. I can't remember which. Yeah. I think it was.
I didn't go to that.
I think it was Rivera. Yeah, Rivera was there, right? I think Kyle Allen was the quarterback, if I recall, out there. Yeah, if I remember.
Yeah, bro. But it was crazy, but it was dope, man. And again, great times, good times, had a blast. And just real quick, I got to give some context because y'all saw, if you were on the pod early and you saw that clip where Smitty pulled up on us, it's on the Panthers. We never get put on the Panthers website. So it was good to see that they actually acknowledged us. But what's super dope, I'll give you some behind the scenes, like context of what happened, because I saw Smitty coming. Like you could see. He said, we got some rabid Panthers fans in the video, and he pulled up on us. The part you didn't see, and it got cut from the video, is that, he's like, we got Rashad and Dave from P&P here with us. Like, he introduced us to the clip. Like, it was dope. I knew they was going to cut that out.
I knew they were, too.
And partially, I don't know if it's because
he called me a hermit, too. That was funny, too, but, he called me a hermit. That was hilarious.
Yeah. I don't know why. I know why they cut it out, but
they cut that, but to give them some grapes, right? They always do that type of stuff. They always try because it was a combined video with a bunch of other folks, right. So they kind of always do that type of stuff. So I ain't really like feeling away about that aspect.
No,
that's
I'm
what
not feeling
they do.
Away.
Yeah. That's what they do.
I'm not feeling away. I want to be clear about that. I'm not feeling away. I'm just providing context to the clip. You know what I mean? But when he pulled up, he saw us. And he pulled up and he's like, "Oh, we got rabid Panthers fans, we got Rashad and Dave, and we kicking it with P&P listeners, like, because they wanted to get some food, so we kicking it with my man Robin. Shout out to Robin, who bought us beers or bought me a beer. I'm not sure if he bought you someday, but he bought me a beer. He was super excited to see us, and we just kicking it. And the crazy thing is is that there was also his homie was a Ravens fan. So that was like best of both worlds for Smitty because he got the Ravens, you got the Panthers. That was crazy how that happened. But he sat there, interviewed us for like a quick second. It was longer than what was shown in the video. I probably said some things. Yeah, I mean, I said one thing that got cut. One thing I did say, and what was crazy too is I had a beer in my hand. Like you don't see it in the video because he said keep it PG. He was like, yo, keep it PG, but what are you doing to stay warm? And so it caught me off guard because I ain't want to lie. Like I'm drinking beer to stay warm. That's what I wanted to say, but I couldn't say that because
so you roll with the hot chocolate.
Yeah, so I had to, I mean, he threw me the alley and said the hot chocolate and all that. So it caught me off guard that's why I stuttered a little bit because he caught me off guard with the question. And I didn't know how to answer. I literally had a beer in my hand. So that's why I said the beverages and all that. But it was dope, man. I also said one thing I did say that got cut out was I said Munich felt more like home than Charlotte. I said that multiple times in many different platforms, but it really did. If you listen to the game, if you watch the game, that bro, I promise you that we haven't seen a crowd like that or heard a crowd like that in Bank of America Stadium.
And it was a home game. And like we were talking, and that was our home game in Munich. It was like a home game, like legit. And I talked to folks who was watching the game live, and they told me you could feel the atmosphere that was going on.
Yeah, bro, it was loud. It was loud in there, bro. It was lit. It was loud. The whole fans, and again, there was a lot of fans in there that were just fans of the game, right? They were fans of Seahawks and the 49ers. There was a lot of jerseys in that thing, but it was a Panthers home game, so all the raise up, all that stuff that we traditionally do when we score, all that stuff was dope. It was a Panthers home game, but we haven't had a crowd like that in the Bank of America Stadium in a long time, a really long time. I would say, to be honest about it, we haven't felt a game like that since Bryce first home game against the Saints. I think it was a Monday night last year, because everybody was excited about Bryce. The crowd was lit. It was turned. That was a similar experience to that game. But it was dope. It was dope, man. That the Germans were fire. Everybody was super nice, very helpful. They were just kicking it, bro. It felt, bro. It did feel like home, bro. For real, like it really did. It really did. Yeah, the first down roar. That was a thing. Shot.
Yeah, you were out here rah.
Yeah, man. Hey, bro. I was having a blast, man. We was turned. And then my guy that was next to me, bro. He was.
Oh my God, man! My man was on. He was past one. He was on 100.
He was lit, bro. He gonna listen to this pod. He gonna be like, man.
he was like, on it, bro. He was on it. It was a lot of beer drinking. There was a lot of that. It was cold though. I'll say that. It was cold. It was pretty cold.
It was cold.
It was cold.
It was very cold.
Because the thing was, there wasn't that much. Shad saw the sun. I didn't see the sun, but it was. I saw it.
It popped out for like maybe 10 minutes, and then that was it in Germany. There was no sun. The whole time I was in Europe, the sun was not out. It was gloomy. That's the only complaint I had. It was just super gloomy, man. I like the sun. I like being outside. But outside of that was really it, bro.
It was a really good event. It was across the board. It was great. I'm glad I got there Thursday, so to enjoy a lot of the stuff that was going on. There were a lot of events happening during the week. Like I said, they had like bars for different teams. I didn't go to the other bars, but there was a Patriots bar. I think there was a Giants bar. The Panthers had a bar. It was a pretty dope setup. And I learned recently that I guess there was an Irish bar that opened up at 2 a.m. on Thursday for Thursday night football, or that rolled into Friday morning. They opened up just for Thursday night football to see that game. I guess that game was insanity too, from what I understand, between I think it was the Ravens and the Bengals. I believe that's who played. But it was a phenomenal event.
Yeah, what time did you lead a bar?
I left about 30 minutes after you left.
Bro, I was tired and still didn't go to sleep, bro. I didn't go to sleep till about 3:00.
That's wild.
Yeah, it worked out though. What's crazy is you would think I'd be jet lagged, like with getting back, bro. I went to sleep at I went to sleep like 8:00 last night, bro, and it was the best sleep I ever had in my life. Like that, it was dope. I slept a little bit on the plane, probably about an hour or so, but I was up the whole time, and then I crashed at like 8:00, 9 o'clock.
I started drinking again around. Once I got to the airport, around noon.
You
German
started drinking,
time.
you said?
Yeah,
Dang,
yeah, I started
God,
because think about it, man. The flight didn't leave until 4.
oh yeah.
It's the 6-hour delta, and then when I get back to Boston, I got to drive an hour. So like I didn't get home until like 9 p.m. last night, East Coast time. So for me, it was like, let me go ahead and get this in. And then of course my flight, they were giving alcohol whenever you stopped. Like whenever they brought food, they brought alcohol.
Yeah.
So
That's a hack. That's a hack on international flights. Yo, the alcohol is free, bro. Well, I know American is. I can't.
Well, it's included.
Yeah, it's included. It's included.
Yeah. So you know, every time they stop, like, you want something to drink? Yep, I'll have a screwdriver. I'll have wine. I'll have this. And I slept probably for out of the 9 hours. I probably slept 5 out of the 9. So it was pretty good. Can't complain too much. And then when I got up and had to go through customs took longer than I thought it was going to take. Went through customs.
Took me a while. It took me a while, bro. With so many Panthers fans in that joint. Because the shout to the Warren Riot, they had a nice amount of people on my flight. So it was shout out to Smitty. Smitty was on my flight too.
Oh wow.
I didn't like run into him. I just saw him when he checked into the flight. But I didn't talk to him. He was up in business. I was back there with Gen Pop, as you say, Dave.
Gen Pop. Oh yeah. Let me tell you something, bro. The business on Lufthansa is different. I mean, different. They all got like 20-inch screens, and y'all are wild, man. Let me hit these 4 super chats up.
Yeah, so hit the super chats, Dave, and then we'll get to. We got a lot to talk about too. I know we kind of chatting it up about the trip, but we got a lot to talk about.
Absolutely. Guten Tag, her Shad, and her Dave. LOL. Good afternoon to you too, sir. Appreciate the super chat, Cash. Ivan Sanchez, you're special to me, Shad. Pause. Get Dunk on live. Dunk's been on the show before, hasn't he?
Yeah, Dunk we had Dunk on way back in the day. We would get him back.
Yeah,
on. Dunk is a cool dude, bro. We rock with Dunk.
Yeah, man. It's funny because Dunk will thank me because I was the one to help him get the Smitty picture on Friday. Yeah. That was pretty dope.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to work on getting Smitty and Dunk leaked up. I'm gonna try without. I don't like. I told him this. Shout out to Dunk, man. We had a conversation. And I was like, yo, man, did you talk to him about, me about linking up? And he's like, nah, man, I ain't had a chance. It was so quick with the picture. So I was like, I'm gonna try to get y'all linked up, man. I don't like, overreaching with the connections, but we'll see what we can do, man. But shout out to Dunk, good dude, man. Dunk is cool people.
All right. Shout out to Noli. Tepper knows y'all. That's a possibility. Appreciate the super chat. Ivan again. Dave is alcoholic, man. I'm not an alcoholic. Let me be clear when I tell you this. I'm far from it. Far from it. I did bring some German beer back though. Mr. Hunky Dory, Roaring Riot member, Tampa represent. Shout out to you, sir. Cash, did you manage to catch a soccer game in Germany? So here's the thing. I learned that they had a soccer game on Wednesday. And after that, they closed Allianz Arena probably to set up the football field until Sunday. So there was no soccer game for me. And shout out to Double O Kane. Tepper ran down on Dave. Nah, man, it was a fun time, man. I had a blast. It was a fun time. But yeah, man, let's get into this content, bro.
Yep. All right. So real quick, Dave. Dave, so if you don't know, Dave got on a headband. You can't see it because he got a big
shout out to John. Shout out my man John with the headband.
Shout out to John, man. He laced us both with headbands. Shout out to John, man. Shout out to everybody we ran into. I'm not gonna remember everybody's name. But salute to everybody. We had good times. Not too many people sent us their pictures, but I know I probably took at least
two. A lot. And one thing I learned, man, a lot of those folks out there utilize Instagram way more than X.
Yeah.
So, and I told them we're Panther Nation PC on IG. So maybe we got tagged on that, but I don't have access to that account.
Yeah, I got it, but I didn't see anything come in. I didn't check right before the show, but I didn't see anything.
No
But yeah,
worries.
man, salute to everybody that took pictures with us. And shout out to Chris too from Charlotte Vibe, man. He did a great job out there. I think he was one of the only beat writers. I think Mike K was
Joe
out
Person
there.
was out there, but
I didn't
Joe,
see
because I
Joe.
ran to Joe at the bar on Friday, crazy enough. So Joe Person was out there from the Athletic. He was out there. And then, of course, Chris from Charlotte Vibe was out there. I know Sheena and Vashta stayed back.
Yeah. There wasn't a large contingent of our and I get it. You know what I mean? That's a lot of money
It's
spent on
expensive.
a bad team, but
No,
Chris, he was out there.
It's just so it's expensive. Like it wasn't. This is why that's why I'm glad Rashad thanked everybody because I have the same sentiments, man. Without y'all, like you talking the flights $1,000, hotels close to $1,000.
Facts.
The game tickets, if we would have messed around with the NFL, would have been $2,000, but luckily we didn't.
We wouldn't have gone to the game had we not have access to the PSL little lottery thing. But yeah, because the game tickets it was cool, man. The whole experience was dope. But yeah, real quick, I want to finish up shouting out to Chris and his photographer. His photographer is real good at his job. And so salute to him and salute to Chris. We had some technical difficulties going live on YouTube. The live in front of going live on YouTube in front of that little 18-wheeler joint. Because he did go live on YouTube before at the Fan Fest and it worked out. I'm not sure what happened, but anyway, I think the video is now up because I did watch it. But it was good times. We had a good crowd, man. People was asking for autographs, and I was like, yo, I'm not a player. People thought I was Mini Peppers or something. I don't know who people thought I was. I don't know who people thought I was, but that was not the move. I was not signing no autographs.
But it was kind of wild, right? Because like when we went live with Chris, there was like a crowd that just started gathering.
I could pull the picture up. That crowd was rather large. I'll pull the picture up. So y'all can see. Hold on, give me a sec. Go ahead, Dave. What you was
but like the crowd was rather large, and and the thing is, we've done live shows before, but I think Chris was probably taken aback a bit by the crowd.
Yeah, it was a pretty big crowd.
It was a pretty decent crowd, I will say that. So like it was fascinating to see that, and it was just people would come and go, and more people would come, and it was just it was great to see. And shout out to Chris, he's a man of the people. Like we had, it was kind of like it was wild, and it wasn't just like there was some folks that kind of knew who we were, and there was some folks that was just curious about like who we were.
I think people saw the light in the news, kind of the news look, and people would just kind of stop. They were more curious to see what was going on. But it was a pretty decent crowd, man, and people was asking for autographs. It was kind of wild, man. I had my family sitting there, and that's what's kind of crazy, and it was kind of cool for me because I be trying to tell like my wife and my kids, I'm like, yo, people like know who I am a little bit out here, so they'll like see me in Walmart or something, they'll speak. But I think it actually clicked for them when they saw it over there because everybody like recognized. It was kind of crazy. We couldn't go like 30 feet without getting recognized. It was crazy. It was crazy, man. Salute though. It was dope, man. Really, really good time. Really good times. Again, great job with Chris, man. If y'all don't know who Chris is, go to Charlotte Vibe on YouTube, sub him up. Real good guy, really cool. He's stepping his content game up, and the way he goes live pre and post game is really good, man. Check him out if you haven't done so. All right, Dave, you want to get into this content, man? We got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, we do. We definitely do.
Let me pull this back up.
We got a lot to go through, man, because there's a lot of things that's happened.
Yeah, it's a lot.
A lot of things that happen. I'm over here watching A&T in North Carolina play. North Carolina came to Club Corbin tonight, man.
Here we go. All right, here we go. We got some roster moves going here. Activated from IR. We've got Adam Thielen. So Adam Thielen has now returned, and that's good.
Wide receiver 1.
So, Dave, come on, bro.
That's what is he not?
I hope not. All right, so let me further explain my thought. Dave, we getting into it already. All right, here we go. So let me explain my tweet on X or whatever we call it now. Because I posted on X. I said, listen, I love Adam Thielen. I think he's a very solid wide receiver, but y'all need to let my man XL and Coker cook. And people were like, oh, well, he's going to take David Moore snaps, not blah. I'm like, bro, I know that. That's not my point. My point was that Adam Thielen is like a safety blanket for Bryce Young.
He should be the 3.
I'm
the
not,
slot.
bro, I don't care. I don't care about none of that. I care about targets and I care about receptions. Adam Thielen is Bryce Young's safety blanket, bro. He's led us in receiving from a receiver standpoint. He's led us in yards both games he was active with Bryce. And so my fear is that, all right, Adam Thielen gets back activated. How does Bryce now look at him? Is he now going to be the go-to, the more reliable target? Because again, we got to keep it a buck. Coker had a couple drops. That's my guy, but we got to keep it a buck. He had a couple of drops in the game, 1 touchdown that was dropped. Leggett I believe had a drop. So he's going to go to who he trusts. You know what I mean? So it's not about, I'm with y'all with the separation and all that stuff. I get it. But when push come to shove, is Adam Thielen going to become that safety blanket again for Bryce Young? So it's about targets. It's not about, wide receiver 3 and taking snaps and all. It's not about any of that. It's about targets, because you can get less snap share and still get the most targets. It's about targets to me, and who is going to lead the team in targets moving forward.
No, I definitely agree. And so for me, when I say wide receiver 1, I'm talking about target share. So for me, I believe he's going to get more targets than any receiver that we have. So from that standpoint, now whether you put him on the outside or put him in a slot, I think he's going to get more targets than any other receiver that we have. I think it'll impact David more than it'll impact the others, but everybody's going to be impacted because he's going to probably give you double digits. He's probably going to get double digit targets a game if we throw the ball 40 times.
What? Yeah, I don't think we're throwing the ball 40
I
times.
hope not. Like, we didn't do that. We didn't do that. Like, the game we saw in Munich is what I want to see in the United States.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? That I want to see that in the United States, because that's what he was talking. Even though, and we'll get into some of the stuff about the game, and I said it during the game, it shouldn't have came down to overtime, but we'll get into that another discussion point. But when he kept saying he wants to run the ball, we finally got to see that. So when you're talking about 25 opportunities for the wide receivers, Thielen's going to get 8 to 10 of them. He should get 8 to 10 of them. And then everybody else is going to be, splitting the 15.
And if he does, that's my concern. So that point right there is why I said I want to see Coker and XL cook. Let them develop. Let them get the chemistry with Bryce, because again, if Bryce is going to be the guy, we don't know. Not saying he is. I think he's working towards it. But if they do become this long-term package deal where it's Young, Coker, Leggett, we need to get that chemistry flowing now. And why I love Thielen. I like Thielen. I think he has a role in the offense. I love the veteran presence. He's super savvy. I agree with everything y'all are saying. The Mr. Third Down, I agree with y'all. I love that. But I just don't want it to take away from guys like Coker and XL. They need to be developed. They need to get – and like somebody said in the chat, that is up to Bryce Young. Ultimately, it's Bryce Young's decision, and it's also up to Canales to scheme up. Hey, who's the one here? Who's your first read? Who's your second read? So that's on Canales too. You know what I mean? So and Sanders too. For shout out to Antoine. Yeah, I agree with everybody, everything that y'all saying. And Sanders is a part of that package deal. I want these guys to cook, and I love Thielen, but I want him to be behind all these guys when it comes to target share, not leading it. So that's where I stand with. And again, I'm glad he's back, because the damn catch he had when he sacrificed himself for the greater good was an amazing catch. That throw against that dog, I think it was against the Raiders when he went down, bro. That damn catch was amazing. He laid out, sacrificed his body, put his body on the line for the Carolina Panthers, kamikazed himself, injured his hamstring, and it was a hell of a catch. So I love Adam Thielen. Don't get me wrong. I just want to see my other guys cook. That's all. But anyway, so we waived Jordan Matthews. Jordan Matthews was our emergency wide receiver that got promoted from the practice squad because we didn't have Adam Thielen. We're still waiting on Adam Thielen to come back. And we also released Cam Johnson from the practice squad. So, Dave, any other thoughts on these?
No. I mean, I'm anticipating Jordan Matthews going back on the practice squad unless he hit the game limit, but I don't think he did. We have to check. I think there's rules about how many games you can play in before you can keep as a veteran before you can keep going back on this practice squad. I can't remember.
I think it's across the board. I think you can only get. I think it's 3 or 4 elevations before you have to get signed to the active roster. After that, after you get elevated 3 or 4 times, I think it's 4. It might be 3, but
yeah, I can't.
But
either way, like, so if I'm gonna assume he hasn't hit it, and if that's the case, I anticipate he's going to get back on the practice squad unless he's not allowed to.
Yeah. All right, let's keep it moving. That's the roster moves that occurred as of the other day or today, whenever it happened. All right, Dave, we kind of talked about it a little bit, but let's elaborate a little bit more on this Chuba Hubbard contract extension. I did get the breakdown, and boy, I know I didn't. I was a little skeptical of it at first, but bro, the way this contract is structured, chef's kiss to Dan Morgan and whoever's helping with the contracts. This is a wonderful extension, bro. So I have the numbers here from Spot Track. Dave, so remember, this is an extension, so it includes 2024, and then 2025, 2026, 2027, 2028 were added on top of that. So Dave, look at this. The most important thing you want to point your eyes to is the cap hits. That's the most important thing. So in 2025, a $5.5 million cap hit, 2026, $6.3 million cap hit, and then 2027, $9 million, and 2028, $10 million cap hit. Dave, not only that, look at the out. The potential out after year 2, or actually, essentially after the first year, the full year of the contract, we can cut him with $4 million in dead cap. This contract is perfectly put together. I mean, I couldn't have dreamed this up. This is a hell of a contract because running backs, bro, the shelf life is it goes like that. It goes like that. And so even if Chuba has a great year this year, he has a great year in 2025, and it hits that wall, it falls off, boom, we could cut him. And it's only a $4.5 million cap hit. And even after that, the cap hits are low. This is a great contract. And so I want to give kudos. And y'all saying Tillis, I forgot his name off the top of my head. Shout out to Tillis and shout out to Morgan. This is a great contract. Forget about the $33 million and the average, the 8.3. Forget about all that. That's why I said you got to wait until the contract structure comes out to see how it's laid out. And I'll be damned, this is a great structure. Dave, you got any thoughts?
No, not other than what you said, man. Like, and the crazy thing is he'll probably be on this roster past 2026, in my opinion. I mean, I don't know if he'll finish the contract, but I don't see him getting cut after 2025.
No, I don't see that either. So but even after that, it makes it easier, bro. Like anything after that makes it easier to kind of walk away from. So it's good deal.
Yeah, and the key for me is that he wanted to be here. That's the big thing for me. Like, he paid his dues. He went through the up and downs. He had his weaknesses. He improved upon said weaknesses, and he wanted to be here with all the turmoil that's been going on. Like, he came here during Matt Rule, guys. So he's seen Rule, Wilkes, Reich, special teams coach that I can't remember right now.
Tabor.
And
Tabor.
Yeah, Tabor, Chris Tabor. And now Canales, and he said, I want to be here. So that says a lot about the franchise right there. So props to him to want to be here, and props to the organization too.
Oh man, Marcus said shout out to Matt Rule.
Julie Rule.
That's funny. Shout out to Julie, man. That's funny.
Shout out to Julie.
That's funny. But and also just another thing, keep in mind he becomes this is good for Chuba, right? The way this deal is structured as well, because he gets to get that contract at 30, right? Everybody knows that shelf life for running back. As soon as they get to 30, that's basically the end of the shelf life for a running back. And so he gets at the age of 30, kind of, if he's still balling, he gets to go out there and try to get another deal. So again, great contract structure, man. This is why I always say, anytime you see an extension or a new contract, I know sometimes we get lost in that $8.3 million. See, everybody looks at that $8.3 million average salary up here, and you got to look at the structure of the contract. The cap hits, just because, and I've said this a million times, so salute to all those people that watched my videos prior when I break down some of the salary cap stuff. Just because it's an $8.3 million average salary does not mean the cap hit is $8.3 million per year.
It's about,
as you can see,
it's about the guaranteed money.
Facts. It's about that guaranteed money, and then that guaranteed money being prorated over the course of that deal. And then it's the cap hit. How is the base salary structured each year? And as you can see in 2025, still a $5.5 million cap hit. And then so on and so on and so on.
And depending on when you make the decision to make the cut, you could split it in half for 2 years. You can cut that 4.5 in 2 if you wanted to, depending if it was a June 1st cut or not. But so you got options here. But there's one thing one other thing that came to mind when I saw this extension. Miles Sanders has been real, bro. It's been real.
Well, yeah, we already knew we knew that when Jonathan Brooks was drafted. It was over at that point.
Yeah,
it was over at that point. But we'll hang on to that thought. We'll talk about that in a second, though. We'll talk about Miles Sanders and what's next for him. But all right, Dave, we got some more super chats. You want to set those up?
Yeah, let's go ahead and get those out the way. Let's see. Shout out to Venator. Thielen is Mr. Third Down. I absolutely agree. And Panthers for life. Thank you for the super chat, sir. Win or lose, Chuba wants to be here. That is a fact, Jack. And now we see 2 running backs. Jonathan Brooks and Miles Sanders.
I thought it was more. So going to your point about Miles Sanders, what happens next? Now, it's a funny conversation. I did not get my man's name, but he know who I'm talking about. He's from Atlanta. He was a watcher of the show, and we got into this. It was a really funny moment because we had just got the news that Jonathan Brooks was not gonna be playing. And immediately, we sometimes get into this moment where we can rationalize anything that the Panthers do. So, for some reason, we kind of just was like, all right, we get it. Like it makes sense. I know we want to see him, but it's all right. It's gonna be okay. And come to find out, it actually made a ton of sense why they sat him, because boy, that turf was awful, bro.
Grass. That was grass.
Excuse me. I didn't mean turf. I meant the playing surface was awful, bro. The playing surface was terrible. The slipping and sliding, bro. That would have been nightmare if he would have went out there, slipped, reactivated that ACL. So it made sense for them not to play him. It made perfect sense to me. And so it's just funny in that moment. We were just like, why would they reactivate him and then not play? It just didn't make sense. But now, obviously, at the last hour, they didn't want to damage him. You know what I mean? So
they didn't want to take the risk, and I don't blame them.
So it's just funny how sometimes you could talk. So am I back now? I think I lost for a second.
You are back.
But going back to the conversation surrounding Miles Sanders. I know Miles Sanders went down, and we couldn't see the extent of the injury. So I still don't know what actually happened to Miles Sanders.
I think I was getting a drink when it happened.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. They didn't show the replay or nothing. All we saw was him leave on the cart. And so it ain't good. If you leaving on a cart, that can't be good. And so I hate that for Miles Sanders. You never want to see anybody go out with an injury like that. I mean, but I said it as soon as it happened, bro. Like, the timing is crazy. You know what I mean? The timing, you get Jonathan Brooks back, and you basically can see where Jonathan Brooks is going to be inserted in this offense based on what they're doing with Miles Sanders. You know what I mean? So I think that you didn't want to see that three-headed monster because you don't know where Jonathan Brooks is going to fit in and how many snaps he's going to get. And it was going to be a three-headed monster. Him, Miles, Chuba. Like, how was it going to work out? And so Miles Sanders goes down. They said he got an ankle. But I don't know if it's like, is he done for the season? I don't know. I think he was getting a second opinion.
They were getting a second opinion to check, and they were going to assess and let us know later in the week.
Yeah, it's tough. It's going to be tough for Miles, but I mean, we kind of are. I hate to say it, but we are going to be okay without him. At the end of the day, like we prepared for this already. That's why you drafted a Jonathan Brooks. You know what I mean? So I'm excited to see Jonathan Brooks, bro.
It's tough for Miles. It's tough for Miles, but we did draft a guy, so now we're gonna have he's gonna get a golden opportunity. So we're gonna see how he looks. I anticipate he'll be active after the bye, and he'll probably get a jersey now because depending on the severity of Miles Sanders' injury, so it'll be interesting to see, man. I feel for Miles, but at the same time, I'm like that next man up mentality too, right? So
yeah,
we're gonna see.
Yeah. Thank you, Kyle. I'm trying not to be, not to be that harsh on Miles, but I think he might be done based off of that injury and the games left.
They got the card out for him, bro. Like he could be done.
But plausible. I think, and it might be good for him too if you look at it that, hey, bro, let me just save myself for the next team because it's pointless for me to play anyway. Like they kind of signed my replacement or drafted my replacement already. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough. I'm trying to be sensitive about it. You know what I mean, but I'm really excited to see Jonathan Brooks, bro. I'm trying not to.
You can.
You know I mean, I'm trying.
You can, and it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, I tried, but anyway, salute to Jonathan Brooks. We cannot wait to see him, and again, he gets another week to rest that his injury and come back 100%. After that bye against the Chiefs, it's gonna be crazy, bro. It's gonna be good looking. All right. Any more thoughts on Miles and Jonathan Brooks?
Somebody said it. If the Chiefs might have the worst run defense in the league, so it's gonna be interesting, to say the least.
I don't know about that. Do they?
I could check. Well, let me fact check here. Let's see here.
It's gonna take me a while.
Nah, I'm pulling.
All right, while you do that, Patreon, man. Again, like I said earlier in the show, man. Salute to all the Patreon members. Patreon.com/Panther Nation PC. Again, if you want to support the channel, again, like all of the support from the super chats, from the Patreon, all that stuff helps us.
Yo, man, let me tell you something. I'm not listening to you guys no more. Freaking rush defense is third in the league. You guys are tripping.
I think he didn't mean to add the two. He didn't mean to add the two behind that, Dave. That was
obviously
a typo.
Obviously. A typo. And if for those who want to know who's last, it's us.
Yo, that was a typo, Jay. He didn't mean to add the two though. It was just the three. That he just meant to put the three there.
The three. Yeah, I'm gonna check it. I'm gonna check NFL.com too to just make sure I'm not crazy. But hold on. Let me see. Let me see.
But that's funny. But anyway, like I was saying, Patreon members, man, we appreciate y'all. Patreon.com/Panther Nation PC. If you want to sign up, become a Patreon member, support the channel. Shout out to the MVPs. I got a giveaway. Matter of fact, the Chiefs game's already been claimed, but I do have some more home games I got to give away. So stay tuned for that. Get your opportunity to sign up and win. Again, if you need to be an MVP member to get access to those tickets to go to watch a game with your boy in the Silver Club. Good times. Shout out to all the franchise folks and shout out to all of the free agents as well, man. Appreciate it. Shout out to the Discord. It was lit. Have not got a chance to look at the Discord since I got back. So I got to take a look, scroll up, see what was going on, see what the vibes is looking like. But salute to the Discord, man. Appreciate y'all. If you are a Patreon member, look in Patreon to get access to the Discord. There's a link between the two. I don't know how to get to it, to be honest with you, but it's in there somewhere. Maybe the Patreon members can help y'all. Y'all can figure it out in the chat. But I don't know how to do it, obviously, because I'm not a Patreon member myself. So I can't see what it looks like on your side. But anyway, Dave, you want to hit Underdog real quick?
Yeah, man. Please, sir, go to underdogfantasy.com. You can use the promo code PNP when you do. Really helps out the channel. We got a big fight coming up this week on the UFC. UFC 309 is this week. So check that out. You can probably do some strikes, do some higher lowers with the strikes. How you feel about it. I don't know if they're gonna do the Tyson versus Paul fight. Some of you guys might be into that. Maybe we can have a discussion about that at the end of the show or whatever. But go to underdogfantasy.com, use the promo code PNP. They do college basketball, college football, NFL, NBA, the whole nine. Just make sure you check it out.
Shout out to Underdog, man. Oh, here we go. All right. So, Dave, we got to talk about DJ Wonnum. DJ Wonnum returned in a major way. Came back balling. Dave, this is what I know. Some of y'all been killing this man for not playing. Some of y'all killed Dan Morgan for signing him. Say it was a big waste. We ain't seen him, but bro, defense looked a little different with them. That pass rush was improved.
Mm-hmm.
And Dave, we got to start with the first point under that by the numbers, Dave. Because what did I say? What was the percentage I said I wanted to see him, Dave?
Half.
What was that percentage?
You said you wanted at least 50%.
At least 50%. Dave, he played 60% of the snaps, playing 50 of 75 snaps. He played 3 run defense snaps, 30 pass rush snaps, 5 in coverage. He had a sack, a QB hit, 3 hurries, 5 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and a forced fumble. Bro, he balled. And one can attribute it to maybe the Giants didn't have no film on him. There was nothing to go back and watch how he's going to play in his defense. So maybe that had something to do with it. They didn't have nothing to scheme for. But boy, he was wreaking havoc out there. He was wreaking havoc out there, bro. So salute to DJ Wonnum, man. That's exactly what this defense needed. And man, let me just say this, bro. I gotta get something off my chest because a lot of y'all, as the game was going on, y'all was killing this defense and how they was going in prevent and how they was doing X, Y, Z.
Oh my God.
Y'all was just
are we getting into the meta of the game near the end of this game, bro?
Yeah, I mean, we could get it whatever you want to, Dave. Don't matter.
Bro,
whenever.
Let me tell y'all something, man. When I posted that tweet and you guys out here blaming the defense, I was losing my mind. And the reason why I was losing my mind was I thought there was piss poor clock management at the end of that game in the fourth quarter. Like, I kid you not, because there was multiple opportunities where they could have ran the ball and took more time off the clock. Like, particularly when we gave like 2 minutes and 30-something seconds left to them because we decided to throw the ball on third down, trying to be cute, when all you had to do was run the ball and give up the dang on 40 seconds. So from my perspective, because then you could have had it going into the 2-minute warning, there would have been less time on the clock, and my score prediction on Charlotte Vibe would have been correct, and we would have won the game 17-14. But instead, we decided to give them extra time, and they had the 2-minute warning, and so and we got what we got. And fortunately, and another thing I said during the game, and Shot is my witness, when the game started, we were sitting next to some Giants fans. I said, I kept telling their ass the entire.
Hold on, Dave. I give Dave a lot of BS, a lot of shit about, excuse my language, about predictions and that. I told y'all, but
y'all.
But I'd be damned if he didn't say exactly. I promise you, if Dave was capping, I'm gonna be the first to call it out. I'm gonna be the first one to call it, bro. You ain't gotta tell me. I'm gonna be the first one to call it out. But I'd be damned if Dave didn't call this joint. He said exactly. Y'all gonna have 3 turnovers. 3 turnovers. And we gonna win this game, bro. And he said it, bro. And I was like, bro, I can't remember when the first one happened. But I was like, man, I don't know if we're gonna hit this 3-day wild. I don't know what he's talking about. But there was 2 Giants fans sitting in front of us, and he told them, he said, 3 turnovers. Y'all gonna have 3 turnovers.
Y'all good for 3 today. Y'all good for 3 turnovers today.
He said it, bro. I ain't no cap. I was there, and I would call it out if he was lying, and he not lying, bro.
And Daniel Jones threw 2 of them picks. And then I was not happy. I was furious that we were in overtime. Let me be clear. I was not happy. It was cold. I felt like we could have. I felt like this could have been avoided. But I said 3 turnovers, and lo and behold, they got the 3rd turnover in overtime. We kicked that field goal and won the game. No, Miss Rand.
There we go.
No. Miss Rand, my fellow soror.
Right.
My fellow soror. Let me be clear when I say this. The reason why I said the 5 snaps.
She is
because
right.
No, Sha. Remember why
and
we said
I was right twice. And I was right twice. Don't
you were
give me some props. Hit the button.
You were.
Hit the button,
you were.
Dave. Hit the button.
But the reason why you were right, was because, you know what I'm saying? The reason why you was right, I was trying to make you be consistent. You talking about I got 2 guys coming back from injuries. One got to do half the snaps. The other one gonna get less than 5. I dare you to add it. Now, please get out of here with that. I'll give you a little credit, but let's not do all that. Because you were like, oh well, button, Dave. I was
right twice. I was right twice.
Nah, don't do that. You're inconsistent, but your lack of inconsistency made you right twice.
I called it out.
I've had enough of it. I've had enough of it.
I called it out.
It was so inconsistent, and you knew it was inconsistent, and it just fell for your behind today.
I called it out though. When you call yourself out, that negates everything. I knew I was definitely being inconsistent.
Yes,
I called it out.
It's like because it had nothing to do with whether or not they came back from injury. It had all to do with the need, and I knew that was why you did it, and I understood why you did it. But I'm like, how the hell are you gonna be out here talking about Jonathan Brooks only got to do less than 5, and then you're like, DJ Wonnum, we never seen him. Oh, he got to play half the snaps today. Like, did you hear yourself how you sounded it?
Defense needed it, bro. We needed it, and I was right. And the defense needed him to play 50% of snaps, and I was right.
We did talk about Wonnum, guys. We definitely did talk about Wonnum.
I was right, bro. I was right, man.
We had a whole back and forth about it.
Salute to DJ Wonnum, bro. He definitely came through with, again, 66% of the snaps. He met my prediction, and so did Jonathan Brooks. Met my prediction by not playing. He did not hit his 5 snaps that I thought he was going to get. So salute to Jonathan Brooks. Salute to DJ Wonnum, and salute to me for being correct.
Oh, you didn't give me no credit, huh?
For what? Oh, I gave you credit. I gave you props.
You see what I gotta do with here?
I gave you props for the 3 turnovers. I just gave you props.
And if they would have freaking managed the clock right, I would have gotten the score right too. But it is what it is. It is what it is.
But yeah, salute to DJ Wonnum though, man. I got shout out to the Giants offensive coordinator right here for pulling a Dave Canales and doing a flea flicker on 3rd and 1. Like what the hell was he thinking? What was he thinking, Dave? This is the 3rd and 1 play. Although it was there, if you look at the other view, if he would have,
Rich Eisen, he commentated the game, but he talked about, I don't know if it was this play, but he was talking about a play where he was watching the all 22, and then they saw that there were folks open.
Yeah, the flea flicker.
But Daniel Jones didn't get to it. You could see Brian Daboll like furious on the bench.
It was open. When I looked at the 22 for this play, this is the play, and I looked at it. I was like, "Hey, bro, he had one of them was not as open as the other, but they looked like they were open. But we was in like some sort of zone. It looked like, and he definitely had some guys open. But yeah, he got sacked. But anyway." Salute to DJ Wonnum, man. We needed this. That's a huge breath of fresh air. And again, we have him under contract for a little bit here, so it could get very interesting in what we're gonna do moving forward. Just real quick, couple more notes on DJ Wonnum. His first game back, obviously, from suffering that torn quadricep in 2023. He generated 6 pressures and a sack on 29 pass rushes. This is according to the next gen stats, which is 20.7% pressure rate. He had 6 pressures, which was tied for second most in a game by any Panthers defender this season. Already, first game, bro. Already locking in. So shout out to DJ Wonnum. All right, Dave, we got to talk about Chuba for a second. I know we gave him some props for his contract, but look at these numbers, Dave. 28 rush attempts.
His money.
That's a lot. That's a lot. And listen, I gotta give him his props, bro. How often have we seen a guy get paid and then fall off? Nah. That's not what happened for Chuba Hubbard. Chuba Hubbard got paid and delivered a career game. That's what Chuba Hubbard did. 28 rushes, 153 yards, and a touchdown, generating a career high plus 71 rushing yards over expected. So that's an advanced stat. He was especially good outside the tackles, gaining 87 yards on 10 carries outside the tackles. He also tied a career high, in 9 forced missed tackles. That's crazy. 9 forced missed tackles is super dope. Yeah, man. So this is Chuba Hubbard. Great game, bro. He delivered, man. He delivered.
Yeah, Chuba ball, bro. And it's kind of wild when you sit down and think about it, because they finally gave him the rock, what we expected Canales to do the whole game. And I know folks are like, well, they ran about 28 times. Why'd you want to run it on third down when we could have been killing the clock? That was the point. We needed to kill the clock.
Yeah. Oh, did we lose you, Dave?
I'm back, right?
Yeah,
just let them burn the clock, like crush the clock. Like you don't give them an opportunity to get us into overtime. You know what I'm saying? Like end it in regulation. And that's the only kind of criticism I give.
Quick, my bad, Dave. They get me because I got the receptions and targets mixed up for Chuba.
Yes.
Yeah, he had 6 targets on and 4 receptions. My apologies. I got those mixed up.
Yeah.
Go ahead. My fault.
But either way, shout out to Chuba. He balled out of his mind. I mean, this is workhorse back numbers, by the way, guys.
Yeah, but and also too, remember, with Miles Sanders going down, I don't think they want to put that on him every game, but in the flow of this game, it was absolutely necessary. So again, yeah, they're saying, I see in the chat y'all saying CMC numbers. It is CMC numbers, but I've always maintained this though. When you touching the ball this many times, you're going to generate this much production. That's why I don't want to go back to CMC. I'm having PTSD with CMC, but y'all crown CMC is the greatest of all time. Bro, he touched the ball like 40 times a game. When you're touching the ball that much, you're going to generate yards. You're going to generate all-purpose yards. You know what I mean? So, like, that's what it just happens. You know what I mean? So, it is what it is. And salute, not only that, because y'all are saying it, salute to these guys. Salute to these guys. Oh, go ahead.
Nah, because somebody mentioned about the fact you said that he was going to get 1,000 yards this season. And he's fifth in the league. He's fifth in the league in rushing.
That's a layup. That was obvious to me, and it made me more confident in that too. Is when Canales came and said we're going to run the football. This is what we wanted from Canales. This is what we wanted from Chuba. We want to see us run the football to protect Bryce Young. And here's the thing.
I stand corrected. He's third in the league in rushing right now.
That's crazy. Third in the league.
He's third in the league in rushing. It's going to probably change because now he's got his bye week coming up. But the only 2 running backs that have more rushing yards than him is Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley. He is third in the NFL in rushing.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Salute to Chuba. And I'll say this too. We can't have it both ways, right? Y'all want Bryce Young to go out there. Oh, man, he only had 100 and some yards passing, and he only did, bro. We want to run the football. Like, Bryce doesn't need to throw for 300 yards a game. I know it's nice. It looks great. But he doesn't have to do that when the run game is effective, right? You just need him to manage the game. Game manager. Game manager Bryce is what we need right now. And that's what he did on Sunday. He managed the game well. It wasn't beautiful. It wasn't perfect, but he managed the game well.
Some other facts about Chuba. He's 5th in the league in carries. So
that's surprising because he could have there's a lot left on the table for Chuba.
Oh God, yes. I mean, and for those who want to know, Derrick Henry, Kyron Williams, Saquon Barkley, and Alvin Kamara are the other 4 running backs that have more carries than him. So he's 5th. So he's right ahead of James Conner and Josh Jacobs in carries. So that says a lot. So I've been beating up Canals about his comment, but I mean, good God, man, he got the running back that's got 5th leading carries, 3rd leading rusher in the league.
Yeah.
So
I mean, and that's with us being frustrated with how the run game is not being utilized properly.
Yeah.
Just imagine if we ran the football more. Like there's a lot left on the table for Chuba Hubbard and this entire run game, and it's not just about Chuba. Because I want to see Jonathan Brooks get some of those carries. I want double trouble. I want 2 backs with 1,000 yards. I want that. That's what I want. So it's not just about Chuba himself. I want the entire run game to get going, whether it's Miles Sanders or Chuba or Jonathan Brooks. I want to see the entire run game going.
And now it gets better. We're bottom 10 in rush attempts in the league, though.
See what I'm saying?
We're bottom 10 in the league. Like Chuba, so to put it in perspective, so that's Chuba crazy.
Make it make sense.
Chuba had 161 of the carries for the Panthers. Total, the Panthers have ran 239 times. All right, in 10 games. So Chuba's getting the bulk of the work, but for the rest of the running game is pretty ineffective. I'm looking at you, Miles. So maybe that'll change with Jonathan Brooks at the helm. Yeah. So we'll see. Probably can't get any worse. So, but there's some data for you.
Yeah, somebody asked how did we do a left tackle and center? Well, here you go. So here is our
Brady.
Yeah. Here is our
he gave us a sack, didn't he? Did he give us a sack against Brian Burns?
No, that was on Bryce, bro. Well, it was. I think it was like not necessarily on Bryce. I think that was a design like play action, and Burns just played that well. That wasn't necessarily on the offensive line. So there was no sacks given up by the offensive line. That was just a good play by Brian Burns.
36.9 for pass block rating is nasty work, though.
Yeah, that's not ideal. Not ideal. A lot of people were pounding the table for Brett.
Not ideal.
It's not ideal. So a lot of people were pounding the table for Brady Christensen.
Absolutely not.
Lapping. Oh,
absolutely not.
He's great at XYZ and
absolutely not.
Yeah. We're leaving some meat on the bone here with Brady Christensen. So it is what it is there. The rest of the line, let's look at Damian Lewis. Man, what a game by Damian Lewis on the ground. Cade Mays. Bro, I got to be honest with you, man. Cade Mays is playing well. He's playing well, bro. And I ran some numbers between his performances and Austin Corbett's performances. And, bro, I got to be honest with you. Yeah, he's got better. He's got better grades. Even if you extrapolate the numbers over the same amount of games that Austin Corbett played, Cade Mays would perform well in theory. Obviously, we can only guess based on how he would perform, but I mean, he's got a higher PFF grade than a Corbett on average. So I think Cade Mays has a 64.3 total over both games that he started, and Austin Corbett has a 62.9. But it's there. His run blocking is better by 6 points. So his pass blocking is better by 1 point. By 3 points. So hasn't given up any sacks. Corbett gave up 1. Although again, Corbett played 5 games versus Cade Mays 2 starter. So we got to keep an eye on that. He's given up 2 pressures the entire his entire stint at starter. Corbett's given up 3, but that's over 5 games. So we got to keep an eye on whether Cade Mays could be the potential guy moving forward. It's going to be very interesting. Very interesting. Robert Hunt had a monstrous game. Like, you can see Robert Hunt's highlights. He tossing dudes. Bro, that the investment in those
It's been
two
working on
guards.
him. Yep.
And I know I got both as left guard. Robert Hunt should be right guard. But these investments, bro, they paid off, bro. They have paid off. They have paid off. And obviously Taylor Moton. Taylor Moton's done well. Taylor Moton has done well.
All right, let me hit a couple super chats. Shout out to Bumpkin Air. That highlight graphic is fire. Thank you, Chico. To Flay. Not Flight, I guess. And Noli asks, what about Mays versus Brady at center?
Yeah, I have not done that, but I can run those. I have to run that at another time. Yeah, I don't have that in front of me right now.
Hunt's balling out his mind.
So yeah, Hunt's playing well, but again, going back to the left tackle conversation, I think that we need Icky back. I think Icky makes this offensive line better. And I know that Brady Christensen had a good game last week, but not so much this week. And yeah, we need Icky back. Icky's the better pass protector and the better.
And Icky's been more consistent too this season.
This season, yes, this season. That would be correct. That would be correct. Icky is better run blocker by like 8 points. He's a better pass blocker by 10 points. He's only given up 2 sacks. He's given up 18 total pressures. Brady Christensen's given up 8 in 2 games. So you extrapolate those numbers out. Christensen, yeah, I mean, he's given up a lot of heat, a lot of pressures over 2 games. That's average.
He'll exceed Icky in 3 to 4 games.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So
in 3 games, he'll exceed Icky.
We gotta be careful. Yeah. Yes, Icky has given up a lot of penalties. That is a factor I did look at.
And I think that's part of the grades, isn't it?
Yeah, that is part of the grades. That factors in your overall score. And that's something that I took a look at too when I you talking about 9 penalties on Icky over 8 games to Christensen's 1. But I'll take the penalties as long as he's not giving up. You know what I mean? Like, but I agree. I do agree that is an issue in Icky's game, the penalties. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, that's interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff with the offensive line. Cade Mays is making it real intriguing. Now, you got to keep in mind with Cade Mays' contract because he got cut and brought back. So he's on a 1-year deal, essentially. So we'd have to re-sign Cade Mays. He'd be a lot cheaper than Austin Corbett. Corbett is interesting because he's got the voided years on the end of his contract, right? So in order to get those voided years removed, we would have to extend him. That or we're just going to pay him. You know what I mean? So we could be paying Austin Corbett to play for another team. Yeah, I mean, that's just the nature of the beast. Or we extend Cade Mays. You still got Ram too. Ram could also play center. He was doing pretty well in training camp before he got injured and whatnot. Christensen is going to be interesting, I think, because he's also on a contract year. Could he still be that backup swing guy, or are we going to opt to go in the draft? It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Christensen moving forward. All right. Any thoughts on the offensive line there?
Yeah, we do need to give Joe Gilbert some credit with how he's been handling the coaching of the offensive line. Phenomenal point.
This is a great point. Yeah, Gilbert definitely deserves some credit. Offensive line as a whole has done a great job. And, you know, they look like a completely different unit with those 2 interior guys. It's helping the center even. You know what I mean? These guys, it was a great investment by Tillis and Morgan. Just wonderful job. All right. That's it. That was it for that. Dave, before we close out, I do want to have one quick conversation because I think you brought it up earlier when you shot me that text, but I want to have a conversation about Canales and where you feel. I don't have a graphic for it. I wasn't able to put it in the graphic, but
no worries.
How you feeling about Canales and kind of his situation amongst against the rest of the other coaches that have been in Panther history and their records and whatnot?
Shout out to my man John, and his last name is escaping me right now.
John
Ellis. He put up a tweet that went over the first 10 games for every single head coach that the Panthers have ever had that got the opportunity to coach 10 games. I'm trying to pull it up right now, but a lot of the coaches went 3-7 in their first 10 games. Some went 4-6. The one that they fired last year went 1-9. So it was just so Dom Capers and George Seifert both started 4-6 as a head coach. John Fox, Matt Rule, and Dave Canales started 3-7. Ron Rivera started 2-8. And Frank Wright started 1-9. He got fired. And for the Steve Wilkes folks, he started 5-5. But I say all that to say is that you got to have patience with these coaches. You got to give them time to build what they want to build. There it is. Just a little shout out to John Ellis. Just a little caveat. So, like, you gotta give these coaches some time. I know how I've felt about certain things regarding the head coaching spot and what the expectations are, but I do think we have to give Dave Canales some time to make it work. We're seeing, and I posted this tweet after we were getting all the meet and greets, and we kept running into fans for PNP, and I wanted to thank everybody that kind of reached out to us. And one thing I also said within that tweet was, it looks like we're starting to turn the corner. So I think we're starting to see some things, starting to see some improvement, starting to see some progress. I know folks will try to be critical. We didn't talk about Bryce's numbers, but I know folks were feeling away about Bryce's numbers. But you know which number I care about more than anything else? The wins. And he's won 2 straight. And you're muted. You're muted, bro. And he's won 2 straight. So for me,
yeah, you brought up a great point with Bryce Young, and I actually am working on a video comparing the old Bryce, the pre-benched Bryce to the post-bench Bryce, and the numbers are actually intriguing. They're very different. Although you're not seeing like the yardage totals, you're not seeing those 250-yard games, those 200+ yard games. There are some nuances in the numbers that show signs of improvement. So I'm working on that video. I'm not sure when I'm gonna get it out. For sure it'll be before the Chiefs game. But there's a tale of 2 Bryces here, and that's probably gonna be the name of the video. And I think we got to be a little patient. And this is why I want to see Bryce play through it. Like, I want to see him play through the struggles. And I understand what Canales is doing. Whatever he's doing is working. Now, we can argue with the methodology and him benching him. And we can argue with all that. Like, I don't necessarily like the benching and the non-committal stuff, but that's neither here nor there, because what it ultimately amounts to is, are we getting the dubs, and is Bryce getting better? And the answer to that question is yes, to both of them. We're getting W's, and it appears to be working. No matter what he's doing, it's working. You know what I mean? So is Bryce the answer? We don't know yet. And that's okay to not know. Like, it's okay to not have an answer right at this moment. Like, I think that's where all Panthers fans are. It's okay to not plant your flag in the ground either way. It's okay to just be like, all right, let's wait and see. That's where I'm at with it. Let's just wait. Why do we have to be so in such a opinionated like era? Like,
well, we know why. But bro, we know why.
But it's okay. But why we can't just sit back and wait, bro? Like, let's just sit back and see how this thing plays out. And because it all plays together. You know what I mean?
No, I'm with you, but to answer the question of why, it's because we haven't had a winning season since 2017.
Yeah, but
that's why.
But I get that. I understand that. Nobody knows that more than me. But it's about progression, and it's about the small victories, right? You have to get these small victories to get to the big victory. And no matter, we can argue about everything, the quarterback. How do we look every week? Are we improving? Are we getting better? And the answer is yes. There's a different. It feels different. Even though people want to say, "Oh, it was just the Giants." Oh, it's just the Saints. The Saints just beat the daggone Falcons, by the way. It's just the Saints until something happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
These small victories matter, bro. It matters. It matters. And do I think we're gonna go out there and beat the Chiefs? Probably not. But I bet it to be a competitive game. I bet that though.
Yeah,
I bet it's gonna be competitive.
I think we're gonna be competitive against them boys, man. Because I look, man. Were you there when you caught the end of the Chiefs Broncos game, didn't you?
Yeah, I was in the bar.
Yeah, I couldn't remember you were on the guard or not, but bro,
yeah, we was there.
Dog, Denver almost beat them boys. A blocked field goal. Like the Chiefs are undefeated. It's the wildest mirage I've ever seen when it comes to them. I think they're a good football team. I think defensively that's what's keeping them in these games. Mahomes has not had a good year so far. So, it's going to be fascinating to see how they do against Kansas City in 2 weeks. We got a whole week to have that discussion point and talk about that.
Chiefs ain't blowing us out the water, bro. They're not. This team, I'm telling you, we're going to be competitive, bro. It's different. When you start stacking dubs, no matter who it's against, you get a little bit of confidence, bro. A little glimmer of hope. And I'm telling you, I said it last week.
We'll see how Canals can keep the team rocking after a bye. This is his first experience with that. Ron Rivera was not good at the bye, and neither was Matt Rule. So we'll see how Canales reacts after the bye. Some crazy things about this for those, because some folks haven't been Panthers fans forever. Don Capers obviously was our first coach. He led us to the NFC Championship game. He was literally a game away from going to the Super Bowl after the second season. George Seifert probably was the rough sledding one. Never made the playoffs as a head coach for Carolina. I say his run in Carolina and he went 1-15 his final year before he got fired. And I will always say that is the reason why he's not in the Hall of Fame. All right. John Fox started 3-7, went the veteran route. He went to the Super Bowl. For those who know, lost a close one against the Patriots in Super Bowl 38. And Jake Delhomme, had a lot of playoff appearances, had a pretty good career here as a coach in Carolina. And he ended up going to the Super Bowl again after he left with the Denver Broncos. Ron Rivera, he took us to a Super Bowl, almost had an undefeated season. He did pretty well for himself while he was here. And he went to Washington first season and won a division. Matt Rule was Matt Rule. Best season was when it was the year he got fired, when Steve Wilkes went 5-5, almost won a division. It was one game out of winning the division. Y'all been here for the Frank Reich experience. I don't think I need to go through that. And Canals is 3-7, so we'll see, man. We'll see how the season ends. Games that weren't winnable before the season are winnable now.
That back half of the schedule looks different now. It
looks much different with everything that's been going.
It ain't the same, bro.
And I will say this, man. We could be the Bears. Saw that with the Bears?
Yeah, I see.
For those who don't know,
Thomas Brown.
For those who know, the Bears fired their offensive coordinator this morning, and Thomas Brown is now the new offensive coordinator for the Bears. That Thomas Brown, the same Thomas Brown,
Thomas Brown we had
that was here last season. That Thomas Brown. So fascinating how that works. He gets 2 years in a row. He's going to get to coach number 1 overall picks. Last year was Bryce Young. This year is Caleb Williams. Kind of funny how that falls, huh? And I do have some scouts that I know in the NFL, and basically the scouts was right about them. The ones that I knew, at least. Because that's what the word on the street is within the Bears camps about what's going on with Mr. Caleb Williams. So, but anywho, maybe there was some signs when he held out, but Yo,
all
man,
good, man.
Leave Mrs. Brown out of this.
Yeah, that's funny.
I did hear about this. I definitely heard about this. So it's gonna be interesting to see what Chicago does with that. And the thing is, they had the number 1 overall pick, which was our number 1 overall pick, and they picked the wrong guy. And it's looking like they picked the wrong guy. We don't know yet.
I was gonna say we don't know yet.
It's early.
Let it play out.
Yeah, we gotta let it play out. But I'll tell you what, man, Jalen Daniels is out here living his best life in Washington. There's no way. Don't be making stuff up, Marcus.
All right, we got anything else?
There's another line. We've been undefeated since Sean Payton tried to run the score up on us.
Yeah, that's a good sign. Defense playing better too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we didn't get look, man. Caleb, the way Caleb walked into this league and the way that Bryce walked into the league are two different things. People forget. Remember how long he held out before he finally signed that contract in Chicago?
Yeah, I try to tell people about that little diva he had in him. I try to say it.
Let's just say the scouts felt the same way as you, sir. But it was a different layer to it. There was more layers to it than that. But all right, man. Let's shut this. And by the way, never forget A-Cash. The Bears is where wide receivers go to die.
Yeah, that's the crazy part about it. We talk about how like the situations are completely. This dude is set up with everything to succeed, and it's not looking good. He's got Keenan Allen, Rome, DJ, all these guys, and it's not working. That's a completely different situation than what Bryce had.
It's where wide receivers go to die.
It's crazy.
There's only one wide receiver that lived in the land of Chicago, and his name is Brandon Marshall. This is where wide receivers go to die. That's where they go.
Maybe DJ Moore will come back, and then we could be friends again.
Yeah, maybe. I was always his friend.
No, you weren't. Salute to DJ Moore, man.
Oh God. That's bad. Ooh, that's bad. Oh God, that's terrible. All right, let's close this thing out, man. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, get in the comments when you can. Shout out to Underdog Fantasy once again. And we're out, man. Have a good evening. We'll see y'all next week.
All right. Yeah, we'll see y'all next week. Some other stuff coming up, man. We out here. Peace.